So this week, Facebook will begin to ask users in Europe to decide whether they would like to see targeted ads based on political, religious, and relationship details they share in their profiles. The social media company will also ask permission to use facial recognition technology to identify people in images posted by the user. It will be a few months before changes are available in the U.S., and this all follows revelations that an outside company purchased data from Facebook of about 87 million users here. So I'm joined now by Ben Goodman, whose San Francisco-based company, ForgeRock, conducted a survey on what users now want to see going forward here. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. We begin with this. What did your study show in terms of privacy concerns, and when was the study conducted?
Yeah, sure. So let me start off by explaining who ForgeRock is and why we did the survey. So we're a digital identity company, and if you think about identity, it's really, things about you, how tall you are, the color of your eyes, the color of your hair. Well, in the digital world, it's the same thing, but it's also, what you've done online. And
what you watch, what you look at.
What you're interested in, things like that, exactly. And so we allow companies to create digital trust with their consumers. And so we did a survey to see what people's opinions were about privacy. And this survey was actually done before the Facebook and Cambridge Analytica event. So even then, though, we saw really consistently that consumers are becoming much more aware of what people are doing with their data, and they want to have tools exactly like what you just detailed from Facebook to control what people do with their personal data.
Interesting that the concerns were there long before anyone found out this information actually was shared with another company. Now, what does the Facebook data breach mean for these consumers now, and what should they be doing to safeguard their information?
So one of the things is we're seeing, the survey already showed it, but now we're seeing an even greater awareness that people shared their data with these sites because they got something in return, because they felt like they had a better experience, a more personalized experience. Well, now they're realizing that these sites could be doing something they didn't intend with that data. And so what we recommend is, do a privacy checkup. People don't realize that when they share data with one of these services, it's potentially shared forever. And so occasionally you have to go back and look what applications, what services I've shared my data, and potentially, if you have the tools, take it back if you don't think they should have it.
But do you think now that people they're getting these targeted ads specifically for the things that they want, do you think it's much harder to go back at this point for a lot of the folks that you looked at for the study?
It's a great point, and I think to date, it's been very benign, right? It's been very easy and actually made a better experience. I think now people are going to look and say, hey, what is the value I get from that? I think another important thing is that brands have to be much more honest about what they're going to do with the data. So I'm going to use this data in order to target you for ads. I'm going to use this data to give you a better shopping experience. And I think if people know what what brands are doing with their information, they're more likely to enable them.
Which was the issue, that no one knew what was happening with their information. So what advice, do you have here finally for folks out there besides the privacy checkup? What really should they understand going forward here when using social media like companies like Facebook?
Yeah, so I think people need to understand that a lot of times when you get a service for free, you are the product to a certain extent. So they may be utilizing your data in order to monetize their service in some way. And so I think that people understand that they need to think about that. I think also a really important thing is the brands, the people that sell to them, need to recognize that these privacy tools are things that their customers want. And that's something that we've been saying is, hey, utilize tools that we provide to give your customers better privacy controls.
We're seeing these changes happen right before our very eyes right now. After all these years of using social media. Ben Goodman with ForgeRock in San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right. Christina.
Andre, thank you.